Hey everybody, it's day 5 of the Shavette Series, and guess what? A 2-for-1. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome to Monday. Happy Labor Day to you. If you have the day off, I hope you're enjoying it with barbecuing and friends. And if not, I hope those of you that are working have a nice day. As today we celebrate the workers. Okay, today is the final day of the Shavette Series. Thank God. And we saved the best for last. And when thinking what Shavette to use, and I've done this before, I did a shootout between the Feather DX folder and the Tedalus Essence folder. Now, they are Shavettes, but I consider them removable blade straight razors, and I think they are on the pinnacle. And if you're thinking about getting a Shavette, I would say spend the money, find it on the secondary market, or get a Feather DX. I know that there's a new one out, and somebody had mentioned it, what it was, but the SS is the one that I was thinking of that more approximates a DE style shave. And then there's the DX. I shaved during this series, I shaved with the Camisori. And today we're going to shave with the folder. But here's a bonus and a shootout. We are going to shave half of our face with the DX Camisori. I'm sorry, the DX folder. And we're going to shave half of our face with the Essence. And I'm going to give kind of a play-by-play after each pass to give comparisons on a variety of different factors and so forth. I'm not going to get into the price. I'm not going to get into too much stuff. It's not a scientific shootout, but just to see if my initial plan or my initial thoughts on the Essence being better than the Feather. And I wanted to try to make it as even as possible. So we've got in both blades, we have brand new Kai. Can't even read this. I don't even know if it's upside down. Kai Captain MG Pro Guard blades. And the difference between the Pro Guard blade and the Feather Pro Guard blade is the wire wrap and the safety part of it is a little bit closer together. But I do find them smaller. And then we'll go over the soap and everything and all that kind of stuff at the end of the shave. So yeah, the positive responses I've gotten on this series have been nice, so I thank you very much. This one's going to be interesting because I noticed yesterday after the shave that I got torn up a lot more than I thought. So it's going to be navigating this this mess. Got a real good slice by my hair yesterday that I didn't even realize. I thought it was just a little weeper, but as I was sitting there editing my video, all of a sudden I started feeling a trickle of blood come down. So that one's pretty thick. Then I have one here that when I was trying to do the cleanup, that happened. I've got one on the corner of my lip. I've got 3 on my lip and then one over here. So it'll be interesting. So we're going to start out today on the right side of my face with the Feather DX. Now, as I said, these are Shavettes, but they really approximate a straight razor. Fantastic, very well balanced. The only thing that I would knock on this one is the thumb notch isn't as thick, and you'll see that in just a few minutes. But I shave with these just like I shave with a regular straight razor. Very smooth. And I will say that if I do see any blood today, it's probably just me reopening what I did before because these are very smooth. The MG blades feel great. So as I said, I'll do a little bit of a play-by-play after I complete each pass. Okay, there's one half done. Okay, and for the second half, we're going to be using the Essence by Tedalus. Now, I'm biased. I think this is the closest approximation to a straight razor. A lot of people don't like the long monkey tail. I like it, and the thumb notch is absolutely the best ever. And it just fits the hand, and you lock this into your hand. That, to me, the Essence just feels more like a straight razor than the DX. And it just feels so perfect in the hand. And you do have to adjust your angle a little bit between the two, because, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but when you look at it head on, there's a sharper angle down to the blade and a thinner angle down to the blade on the Essence. So you do have to adjust your angle of attack a little bit more. But this one has jimps on it where the thumb notch is, and right underneath where this one is. Got a few, but they're very, very small. So they're pretty good either way. Okay, that's pass number one. And let's go ahead and rate each side. First pass, the Essence win as far as whisker removal. They're both very, very smooth. As I said, the only knock that I have on this is the fact that it's just a little thicker, and you have to adjust your angle. And then one other thing should be noticed is around the top of your nose, the Essence is a little easier because it does have a little bit of a flare on it to get in and get those final whiskers. But other than that, very nice on both sides. Actually, I'll amend that. They're pretty even as far as whisker removal, but I may be being just a little bit more ginger because of these damages. This next pass is going to be where I see whether I reopen anything. The soap we're using today is extremely slick. It is a non-tallow fusion base. For those of you that know soaps, you'll know who the manufacturer is by me saying that. But just a wonderful fragrance, very Barber-esque. So let's see. Now it's nice, you know, even though this is the Shavette challenge, it's nice to feel like I'm shaving with a straight razor. And it was a good way to round out this series, and hopefully it's given you some ideas. I'm going to have some recommendations at the end on which way to go. Okay, now again, if your hand's a little bit wet, the jimps on the DX are not quite as good, and you got to be real careful, because if it's slippery and you come up that thumb notch, you're going to go right onto the blade. That's the only thing I don't like about this. And I'm also factoring in that the MG Pro Guard does take 1 to 3 shaves to really get smooth, but it's smoother than, in my opinion, than the Feather Pro Guard right out of the box. But again, very easy to handle. So there's pass 2 with the DX. Let's see what pass 2 is like with the other. Now, the one thing I do like about this one is I can lock this in a little bit easier. Now, I got to be real careful right here, because that's where that lateral cut is. I just find with the Essence that you can adjust the angles a little bit better, and it is a bit smoother on the face. The one thing I will knock this for is this doesn't have a retention device like the DX. The DX, you can actually press this and it's on a spring hinge and the blade will drop off. So you never really necessarily have to take this cover off to put on the blade. I do because it's habit, but you can normally just, like an injector, go into that hole, boom, and it's in and it's pretty solid. Whereas the Tedalus has a tendency to, it's only got the magnets and it's got a small retention area. So you got to be real careful taking that in and off. And a lot of people have complained that the magnets are so strong that it's hard to change the blade. I don't find that the case. But, you know, that's just personal preference. Again, I don't like the fact that you have to hold the razor down further on the jimps without having your thumb slip up onto the blade itself. And as I said, right in here, it's hard to get that blade down in there. And just a bit rougher. And that can be, you know, just the geometry of the razor itself. And like I said, I can lock this in with those, with that thumb notch and those jimps, and I really like that. And again, I can really get in to the nostril area. Okay, there's pass 2. Let's see. They're still pretty even overall as far as removal. I got a little bit more from the Essence on the neck area, doing the east to west and west to east pass, but pretty close. Okay, let's do our final south to north pass. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Tomorrow, since today's Labor Day, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow. And if I do, it may be a DE video because I've got all the errands that I would normally run today. I will run tomorrow, plus not to mention that our Drinks and Dave show, and don't forget to come join us, Drinks and Dave's on YouTube for our live talk show, but it'll be at 6 p.m. Pacific tomorrow due to some scheduling issues. Okay. I've got enough lather to shave another army if I needed to. Kind of overloaded that. Okay. Again, we will use the now. As far as my south to north pass, it fits really well. Again, a little bit slippery with the jimps because the jimps are not quite as deep, and I just don't like the fact that you can slide up onto the blade. But depending on how you hold it, you're fine. Both razors do allow for scything because they do approximate a straight razor that well. And again, they're both very, very, very smooth. Okay, there's that half, and I'll do the Fool's Pass just a little bit later. So holding the Essence, it's got a deeper recessed section that you can put your thumb and forefinger in. So I find that, again, the blade the razor itself locks into your hand much better. And you can rotate through different parts of your shave. Again, the only thing you have to do is adjust your angle of attack. Since it's thinner. I also find that it glides across the face a bit better. Now, understand that these are all minuscule differences between the two. And I like the overall length. I like the way this fits in your hand. And even the one thing, when your hand is wet, this is very slippery. For whatever reason, this is not. I mean, it's slippery, but I mean, you can still hold a grip. Because unfortunately, I'm not the one that dries their hand after every pass. Okay, let's see what the Fool's Pass does with the DX. Extremely smooth. As I said, I don't consider these Shavettes, even though I know they are. But they're the closest to an actual straight razor. Now, I will say, I will give the DX credit. When doing the Fool's Pass, you have a little bit better grip on the front or the toe of the blade as opposed to the Tedalus. The Tedalus, because of its angle, you got to be a little bit careful, but I like the balance of this a little bit better. And again, just a tad smoother overall. Oh, and one other thing, when you're using a straight razor or a folder, and this may go without saying, but make sure that when you're done with the stroke, that you close the razor. Don't ask me how I know that, but don't leave the razor open on the counter, because inevitably it's going to look at you like a pit viper and say, oh, look, I can create more blood. Pretty even as far as the shave. Let's see on the cleanup, and I'm a little worried about the cleanup today because of those 2 blood spots that I got yesterday. So let's see how they react to both buffing and flat blading. Again, just like a straight razor. Buffing is a little bit easier with this one because it's a shorter razor. Let's look at the flat blading. This one's a little tougher as far as flat blading, again, because of the width and the angle that it comes down on the blade. This, in my opinion, the DX represents more of a wedge, where the Tedalus is more like a full belly hollowed blade. And again, I can lock into this because of the length of the tang. I can really lock into this razor and not have it move around much. Again, just a bit smoother. You don't have to be as careful with the DX when you're flat blading. This one you do, because again, the angle of the blade going down to the, or the angle of the carrier getting down to the blade. So we'll get cleaned up real quick. We'll go over everything we did, and then we will talk about which one might be the best for you. Oh. So nice to be back to DSBBS. I don't think there's going to be a lot of alum sting. Our witch hazel today, alum first, David, come on. Nothing. I mean, I've got a little bit of a you know, a little bit of a sting where those other injuries were. But other than that, nowhere near yesterday. Yesterday was horrific, and my face burned for a long time. Okay, get cleaned up here real quick. I'm going to save showing the razors till the very end because I want to do the comparison. And for those of you that are looking to buy one of the two, now as far as I know, I have not been on Essence's website or Tedalus's website for a long time. I know that he was doing some specialty ones, and I don't even know if they're in stock. So you may have to find them on the secondary market. They are the more expensive of the two, but in my opinion, like I said, those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, I don't look at price. Our witch hazel today, CBL Litzia Kubebe. Just absolutely wonderful. It's not lemon, it's not lime, but it's punchy, I guess is the best way I can put this. So I'll let that dry down for a few seconds. The soap we use today, and I found this in the back of the cabinet. I always forget to use it. But CBL Soaps put out these bamboo bowls, which are just absolutely fantastic. They fit the soap perfect. But what we're using today is the Fusion Base Barba. Just a wonderful, fresh, almost an Italian-esque citrusy scent with a dry down and a finish of a powder. And it's just fantastic. We're just going to be using aftershave today because this is strong enough that I can use it if I dab it on as an EDT, but I'm not really going anywhere today. So, okay, and we're using CBL Barba. And again, CBL's aftershaves are an aftershave milk. Good for the skin. I mean, if you just read the ingredients, just wonderful. And I have a tendency to go a little nuts with this because it's just so nice. Very nice barbershop scent, an Italian barbershop scent. The brush we use today, one of my finer ones, I think, is a Shave Matte Colonia No. 1 with a 2-band silver tip on it. Just a wonderful, and this was one that I designed, so it's kind of neat that you can do that. Okay, let's go over the razors. Okay, so this side of my face, and this is, let me do some talc first because I want to do just an overall comparison of the shave. Yes, we actually got some new talc. Well, not new talc, but I'm using something new, or something I haven't used in a while. This is Yardley Gentleman. Again, a very barber-esque, powdery scent. Goes perfect with this soap. Okay, let's evaluate the shave first. Definitely DSBBS, and in comparison the sides, pretty close. I mean, you could call them almost even, but DSBBS on each side. So on the right side of my face, we use the Feather DX folder. Wonderful razor. I think these retail, at least when I bought, they retail for around $200. You might be able to get them cheaper. They had a wooden handled one, but I don't know if that's even still available. Good ergonomics, beautiful, almost a frame back style. Like I said, the only knocks that I don't like is this thumb notch is not very deep, which I don't like, and the jimps are very thin. Plus, where the logo's at, it's just a relief, and you can't tighten onto it very much. The scales are plastic, but they're a very good plastic. It retains its shape, and what's nice about this is you just screw it tight if you want. The ergonomics of the blade are, like I said, more like a wedge, and so you do have to adjust your angles. I don't like the shortness of the tang or the tail. but still a wonderful razor. Is this worthy to get? Absolutely. Whether you get the SS, if the SS was a good starting point when you're learning how to shave with a straight razor, although, as I said, I think straight razors are better. But if you want to not have the hassle, start with the SS, then move on to the DX. And I guess there's another one, but I don't care about that one. Very closely approximates a straight razor in all aspects. Like I said, my only knocks are the jimps and the overall angle of the blade. But a fantastic razor. And again, I'm biased, so take that as a grain of salt. To me, the absolute best approximation of a straight razor in a Shavette or removable blade straight razor is the Essence by Tedalus. Number one, it is beautiful. It's got nice flowing lines. I'm not sure what these scales are made of, nor do I care, but they will retain grip even when they're wet. Same type of retention system. You have a screw there, but I love the tang and the tail because you can, you've got your whole hand on it, and that allows for beautiful retention as far as not being able to move around. The jimps are much deeper, and you have an actual full-fledged thumb notch. I love the curve, and what I do like about it is it's more like a full belly hollow almost, and so your angles are more like a straight razor in my opinion. So again, this one's much more expensive, but as far as comparing both of these, dealer's choice. Whatever you think you want to try, depending on budget. But if you're really looking for a Shavette and not wanting to deal with any of the straight razor stuff, and you're learning, I would recommend the Essence. I love this razor. I have 3 of them. I use it in the shop. I just think it's, from an engineering standpoint and everything else, it's just absolutely fantastic. The feather is good too. I mean, I still have them both, and I still shave with them both. So as far as the shootout's concerned, all I'm doing is confirming what I already kind of knew. This one is the top dog as far as removable blades / Shavette in the den, followed by this and the Camisori, and then the other ones, well, we won't talk about that. Anyways, that's it, folks, for the series on the Shavettes. If you have other series you'd like me to try, please let me know. And I did have a request from somebody about putting more Saponificio Veracino back in the shave videos, and I will do that. I'm just running real low because those of you who don't know, initially when I was a brand ambassador for Saponificio Veracino and not the US-based distributor, we had a pseudo deal, and I should have gotten in writing, that I was going to provide samples to people to help boost Saponificio Veracino's business. And I cut small discs out and sent them out, and apparently they didn't think that that was worthy enough for their soaps, so they canned the idea. And I was supposed to get product from them to do that, so I didn't get off my stack. And this was about 2-3 years ago probably. But what I did is I made a promise to both my viewers and the people over at the Cadre that I would send samples. So I took all my stuff, cut it up. So I'm running very, very low on Saponificio Veracino soap and aftershaves overall. But we'll get back to it. So maybe next week I'll do a 3-day series just on Saponificio Veracino. Anyhow, I'll bored you enough, guys. 31 minutes. Man, this is getting into Gear Nord territory as far as timing. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll do a shave tomorrow, but that was day 5 of the Shavette series. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Barber Dave. This has been Barber Dave Shaves and Such. Have a very safe and fun Labor Day. Thank you.